Hey, so I'm trying to get into a trade. That will now be the divergence on the 512 tick chart at the 61.8 line. So lots of ifs and lots of weird expressions, and indicators and so on. So that's like the most technical I would ever get, like the most indicator style. We had this big drop during the news. Now it recovered a bit. And yeah, while we could draw this channel that maybe now breaks, we have a Fibonacci up here. And that's the only one I would use. If it comes to the 61.8 and makes a divergence at the same time, that's the one I would take. Other than that, we would have the white below the yellow, so 21 EMA below the 50 SMA, and the indicator is crossing, so I would need to take that too. If it now went down and gave the indicator signal, because that's what I'm experimenting, just taking a trade based on a signal, just boom. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if it's too much of a stop, if it's like 4 points, I'm not going to do it, or with a limit order. Here, if it goes down much further, then the signal is off anyway, this signal, but yeah, I'll let you know. Okay, it looks as though it's really breaking down, but I can't enter unless this bar finishes. I'm gonna see the stop on my MES chart is 41, so I could take till 38, that would be 3 points. I would enter a limit order here. Okay, it's nearly finishing the bar, and for this setup, I don't care if it's into the EMA, whatever. I purely take it, purely because of an indicator. Okay, that's good enough. I'll wait till it breaks and then I'm dropping my limit order 1 tick back. Of course, price action wise, this spike and small channel only now broke. We expect that it makes a new high, but if I have a signal like that and it is reasonable, then I have to take it because it's a swing trade. I'm going at least for 2 to 1, at least.
Order canceled.
I had a second order there.
Order filled.
Okay, so now I'm in and I'm going to measure my profit target that I would need. At least 2 to 1. That would be exactly where I put it by accident. My hand is like used to 2 to 1. No, just kidding. But I want actually 3 to 1 if it's possible. But after 2 to 1, I could be flexible with it. Very often in the past, I saw this setup not work for the first time when it crosses, but actually that it crosses and then tries to make or makes a new high, just like in the price. Just like pure price action, you know. Tricky is also when it's 3:30 here, it's gonna be the open. So if we're still lingering around 0, then I will exit. It definitely looks not so good for this indicator setup. Also, like if we connect that, that would be a broader channel. Of course, price action wise, again, I would never enter here. But since I'm just trying out the indicator setup with the RSI, I have to take it. Because EMA is below SMA. Like the slower is below the fast. The faster is below the slower, which means downtrend. So that's not, that's objective. Then we have, I'll explain it quickly again, we have then the RSI crossing above 60, above, and when it then comes down again, that's the entry. And it went down after this red second candle formed, so that's where I entered. And then it's a swing set up for at least 2 to 1. Preferably more, 3 or 4 to 1. Because then the little price action stuff can, in my opinion, go out of the window. And one more thing, like this Fibonacci has its target at the minus 23.6. So that would be even 4 to 1. So I'm going to target that first, if it just shoots down or something. But after it reached 2 to 1, I'm going to move my stop to break even. And I'm going to see how I manage it. But so far, see, all these fears of like this being a channel are not founded. And you could find all these channels. You could find this spike and channel and all of that. One more thing, like from the bigger picture, that is yesterday's high. All-time high, I guess, right? Or what was it? Yeah. So we bounced many times here, broke out. So that's another reason why it's good, you know, to swing down. And that's just a mechanical entry for me to do that. So now we're approaching the 2 to 1. That's the moment where I would decide to put it to break even. Not yet, not yet. I'll tell you when it's time. Okay, now I'm break even, at least. But I had to give away 6 points. Needs pretty big balls with if it was real ES. This is MES. But still, look, I mean, this looks like a fountain that pours down. And I have to try to cut 4, 2, 1, a 4x. Not 4x trade, but a 4x times my risk. Because that's the target of the Fibonacci, of the algorithm. And look, now we would have 3 to 1. And now I'm going to trail it for sure. That's 3 to 1. If it comes back, I'm going to take that. If it comes back... Okay, now we're nearly 4 to... We're out. That's 4 to 1. And more I don't need. I don't need more than 4 to 1 plus. See how it reacted at the target. See how... I mean, it even flushes down more, but... you know, this, I'm good. I'm good with 4 to 1. Because it was the target of this algo. And what else? And it was yesterday's low, trading hours low. So I'm good. See, and now what would you do? But I mean, basically, one question, what would you do now? You would probably have your stop somewhere here because you couldn't take it no more. So I went out at, I would say, the best possible place. And that is because of the algorithm. It's minus 23.6%. This is no joke. And you see the first reaction here was at the 50. You see the first candle at the 50? This didn't go to the 61.8. Normally it would go there. But, I mean, do you see that? My entry was here. And my target was here. So, I mean, that was pretty great, I have to say. Now I would have for sure gotten out, for sure, at 3 to 1, plus we come back from the oversold. So, I mean, that's why I like this indicator in a way, because this trade would have been absolutely impossible without it for me. And now it was just like, okay, I'm taking it because of the indicator. Plus price action, I still look at, you know, it's reasonable, but the small price action would have prohibited me to take that. because you could say spike and channel didn't break, no new high. You could say, oh, maybe there is a broader channel at work, all that stuff. Okay, anyway, I was happy. I'm really happy that worked.